I actually came into debating also through the Bard network when Bard's debate team started doing outreach to my high school and started teaching me the parliamentary debate style, which is something that starting in middle school, I really fell in love with and have kept doing for quite a bit now. So that's how I came into debate initially.
I got into debate when I was 11, which sounds really nerdy, but it's because I had a lot of speech therapy at the time because I had a really bad lisp and I wasn't very good with public speaking. And so it was really bad for me to try to speak in front of people presentably. And while speech therapy did work, I think the most useful thing was joining speech and debate because it was a real life sort of application of how I could practice self confidence and how I could speak properly, make sure I'm always presentable, and that eventually kind of bled into everything else in my life.
Well, the Bard Network is perhaps the one of the foremost debate programs in the world, in my opinion, for several reasons. We have two of maybe the best debate coaches in the world who are famous for training a prison team from New York to beat the Harvard debate team. Ruth Zisman and David Register. So we have these resources here where, over Skype, over different ways from Berlin, we can work with really experienced coaches. Of course, we're here with the Berlin Debate Union, one of the best debate teams in Europe, where you can interact with students who are winning competitions all over Europe in debating and really learn a lot from that. So I think we're in maybe one of the most perfect places for debating. We have the good debaters around us, we have the resources of good debate coaches, and it turns out that the European continent and the UK happen to have a good amount of debate tournaments that we are traveling to as a team.
We are doing parliamentary style debate, which is really interesting because I had never done it before in my 7 years of experience. It was kind of scary actually because it's more of a teamwork based event where you have a partner, but you also have two other people on your team and you're competing against four other people who are broken up into two teams. And from there, you really have to know how to think on your feet because one, you're not allowed to use any prior evidence. You can't do any researching. You find your prompt right when you start, which is very different than what I was used to. I used to have about a month to do my research and it was great because I always had that to fall back on. But this is mainly about thinking on our feet, making good, coherent arguments, being sure to go off of what the other half of your team, but not your partner, says, and also being able to respond to four different sides of arguments at once. And so that's something that was really difficult to get used to, but it taught me so much, and it was just so much more than I'd ever expected.
I really think that debate at its core is a activity that really just encourages understanding of points of view that you wouldn't have really thought about otherwise, understanding them in a manner, in a respectful manner that you wouldn't give it usually day to day.